Welcome to Dune, chapter by chapter. I'm Dominic. So, in the last chapter that we talked about was Dr. Yui had an encounter with Lady Jessica, and she was trying to, and he almost gave himself up, but because of the training he had from his wife, Wana, he was able to deflect any suspicions Jessica might have of him. And that ended with them giving Paul a sedative to put him to sleep. Now in this chapter, it switches over to Paul in the bedroom, and he actually hid it under his tongue, the pill. He didn't take it because he wanted to go and wander about the palace. And then, just to kind of quickly recap the chapter, he's going to go wander around the palace, but as he's about to leave, he notices part of his bed, the headboard open up, and a hunter-seeker come out. And now, if anyone doesn't know what a hunter-seeker is, it's like a small assassination device that in the world of Dune. And it has like a needle point on the end of it. And it tracks its prey through motion. So it can't actually see anything. It just goes, whatever motion it catches, that's what it sees, and it goes after it. And it's remotely controlled off in some other room by someone. So that's what's happened. That's what happens in this chapter. Paul has to face off against one of these things. So when I was reading this chapter, now this is a short chapter, so it's not a huge amount to talk about, but one of the things I noticed in this chapter is how the technology of Dune it seems to be concealed. So in some cases, like in this bedroom, all the controls for the bedroom, the lighting, the heating, the ventilation, and all that kind of thing, it's all hidden behind ornate things that's carved into the headboard of the bed. So you press fisheye, something happens, you turn a wave, something else happens, and stuff like that. So now this is something that I heard a comic book girl 19 talk about, is how, a lot of technology in Dune is hidden because of the Butlerian Jihad. Technology is kind of like a looked down upon thing. It's not cool to have your technology out on display for everyone to see. So whatever technology they have, it's kind of like hidden away. You don't see it immediately. Unlike our world today, where all of our technology, our VCR and DVD players and Blu-ray players and TVs and on computers, all that's right out in the open for everyone to see. So that's an interesting thing in this chapter. That now I don't know if that's a ongoing theme throughout the book or not, but definitely is in this chapter. And so then he has to face off against the hunter-seeker, and so he's kind of deciding, which way am I going to do this? How am I going to face this thing off? Because he left his shield belt on the bed. He doesn't have it on him, and he doesn't have a last. And a last gun, it kind of goes into more detail about how the last gun is not really the most reliable weapon that you can use, because it's prone to maintenance problems. And if it happens to come in contact with the shield, it causes a huge pyrotechnic explosion and all that. So it makes me wonder why they even use las guns at all. In what circumstance would you use them? I know it gets used in the book, but just because if it comes up in contact against a shield, it causes like a big explosion and all that kind of stuff. So it seems like a pretty impractical weapon. Like if a guy's got a las gun, another guy's got a shield, and las gun guy shoots the guy with the shield, they just basically cancel each other out. It just causes a huge explosion. And but in this chapter also illustrates how the Atreides are trained to rely on their wits and their personal shield on their body. Because if he had his personal shield, that would actually slow the hunter-seeker enough that he could do something with it. He could destroy it. And it's interesting to note that the shields, it doesn't stop anything that's slow-moving. So something slow-moving can slowly push its way through a shield, personal body shield. It'll only deflect faster moving objects. So that's a cool thing about the personal body shield. So anyway, in this, he uses, because of his training and stuff, he has reflexes fast enough. He's actually able to grab this thing and then slam it into the metal door and destroy it. And then there he has his first encounter with the Shadout Mapes, as she was out in the hallway and she was just coming in his room. So she introduces herself to him, and then she realizes what was going on with the hunter-seekers. So she has some knowledge about hunter-seekers. So she has some background experience, I guess, with those kind of weapons and assassination techniques and things like that. So she realizes that this hunter-seeker would have killed her if not for Paul. So Paul said, well, I was more or less saving myself, but, if he could have let the hunter-seeker just kill her and he would have been safe, but he grabbed it, slammed it into the door before it could go and kill whoever was going to be on the other side of it. So then we get to learn a little bit more about the Fremen as they take debts very serious, because now she's in Paul's debt. She owes him a life debt. And, the Fremen believe in paying off or clearing off their debts. So now she informs him that you guys, the Atreides, have a traitor amongst you. But they don't know who it is, but they know there is a traitor in there somewhere. So that really alerts Paul. So then, Paul tells her, you got to go get my father and get his men and tell him to seal off the place, because whoever did this, they're going to be nearby. So they're in the building somewhere, hid away. Some kind of a Harkonnen assassin or some other kind of assassin, something like that. So then he, this is his first encounter with a Fremen in the book, Paul. So an interesting interaction there. And of course, we all know who the traitor is. The traitor is Dr. Yue. And, but one thing is, I was always wondered about in this book is how actually the Fremen find out that there is a traitor in amongst the Atreides. That's kind of an interesting thing, how they would have found that out. And as far as I know, I don't think it gets explained in the book, but they somehow know about it. They know that the Harkonnens have someone, like a turncoat, in amongst the Atreides, which is an interesting thing, like how all the intrigue goes in this book and stuff like that. So yeah, so not a big, long chapter. This chapter is pretty short, so not lots to talk about. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one.